Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Xbox Life episode 485 Grouping. I am one of your hosts, Mark, aka Wingman709, and with me, as always, is my best friend, Rob.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello,
Hello, hello.
hello.
So,
Yeah,
welcome to the show. Rob, I missed you, buddy.
you did.
I missed you. And I
Well,
have
understandable.
cursed your name a couple times this week, just so you know. So prepare yourself.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
but before I curse you more, you can listen to us live every week on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. Sundays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. And so let's get into it. So I'm gonna go first
Okay.
this week. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit,
All right.
and obviously I've played Gems of War. Awesome, super fantastico game. Also played State of Decay 2. And this is it. So I played the original State of Decay when it came out back on the 360, and I remember enjoying it. I
Right.
remember it being a little hard. I remember
Yeah.
never finishing the game. I think it was one of those that just didn't hold my interest. So I wasn't sure what State of Decay 2 was going to be like because it's pretty much the same game with some new features and,
Right.
enhance the gameplay and stuff like that. So I started playing it, and I really have enjoyed it. But it is a very frustrating game at the same time. But because it excuse me, there's so many things, and it's like my little community's constantly whining and crying about there's no food or there's no water, but they don't go and do anything. It's like I'm the only one. I mean, I can switch
Yeah.
characters, but it's like they just sit around and don't do nothing unless the zombies attack, and then they will fight them. But I'm just thinking, while I'm over here getting fuel, one of you jerks could go out and get some meds or some food or some building materials. Why do I got to do everything?
Exactly.
So I do wish this game would allow you to say, "Hey, you go do this," you know, but you can't do that. And then everybody's tired. It's like everyone's tired, or somebody got bit, or you know, they always got an excuse not to do any freaking work, which are lazy bums. So, but the game, I think plays well. People have been saying there's a lot of glitches in it. I've only had one problem where like it locked up on me, but it
Oh,
wasn't the
those
game
kind.
didn't lock
Okay.
up. It was like my character like froze and I couldn't move, but the game was still going on. It was weird, so I had to drop to the dashboard, but that was only once. I've That's the only thing I've seen. Now, there are some weird things with this game, but the original game was the same way. It was kind of janky, like you got to stand in the right spot to open and close the gate, and it's not just walk up to it anywhere. It's like you got to move. Oh, I'm standing in front of the gate, but I got to take a half a step to the right till I get to the point where it gives me the option to hit X to open the gate or whatever button it is. So there's that jankiness like that. I'll try to run up the staircase to the second floor of my house, and all of a sudden I'm like leaping over the railing back down to the ground. I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted you to do.
Hmm.
So, but it's almost kind of like that's just part of just part of the game. It's always been there. So, but I did play it. I did jump into someone else's game. Oh man, totally just drew a blank on who it was I was playing with. It was someone I hadn't played with in a long time, and I popped in and surprised him. Um, but oh, I don't want to get the wrong gamer tag. I think I know who it is, but apologize. He's not listening anyways, so because he's asked me, "You still do the podcast?" It's like,
Yeah.
yes. So I guess I don't
You
have to
still
remember his
listen?
name. He's gonna be nameless, even if I remember it. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
it because he's not even listening. So the heck with him. No. But we had a good time, and it was kind of fun being in someone else's game, and I'm looking to do it again, jump in other people's games because I do get you do get to keep the what is it you earn? I keep forgetting I've earned it. It's like that XP you earn. It's when you do certain things, you go up and you need that to buy more stuff in your game. But you can take that back and gear. If you are in co-op and you go to the like the locker, the storage locker, you're in your own storage locker, even if you're in someone else's game. And if someone joins you, they're actually in their own storage locker, which is great because it keeps people from coming in and stealing stuff from your storage locker. So they can't impact your storage locker at all, which is great. But they can add the big huge backpacks, rucksacks. They can add those. When they add those go to the game that you're in. So they can help add meds and fuel and construction materials and stuff like that to your game, which is really cool. But yeah, you can go around and co-op and fight zombies and do things that way. So it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the game. And then, so Rob,
Yeah.
I guess maybe you got to explain this to me because I even put it in here wrong. After last week of you and Ryan talking about Clash Royale, I'm
Sure.
like, you know what? Rob's talked about this game for so long. I've never given it a shot. I'll go and try it. So I downloaded it and had it downloaded. I showed you and Ryan last week. So
Yes,
I've
you
been
did.
playing it this week.
Okay.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't know. To me, and you might be able to say it's weird because what I'm about to say, you probably can say the same thing back to me about Gems of War. But this game seems so pointless. Like, I went, like, you just send, it's like everything's the same, and it's your guys will come up.
What do you mean
just
everything's
send them,
the same?
like, every match is the same. It's like you just
No.
you're sending your guys up to take out their little 3 structures, and you're hoping to defend your 3 structures. And it's like I went up earlier. I had one the other day where, like, I'm over there and I'm attacking one, and all of a sudden he just comes down and it's like boom, boom, boom. He just wiped out all 3 of mine. Like, I never even got one of his out. I'm like, what the heck? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. I'm wailing away on one building. All of a sudden he goes zoop and just wipes out everything almost in like a single shot. I was like, what the heck just happened? That's frustrating. And then today I was playing one and, like, I'd taken out a structure and the guy hadn't even released a single person yet. And so I was on his main, like, structure, right? Next, that's where I was at, and I was fighting that.
There's crown towers and king towers. So there's the 2 little towers on the sides that have the archers on top, and then there's the king tower in the middle that is dormant until it gets woken up.
Okay. So
right.
I took out a crown tower and then went over to the king tower, and the other guy still had not even sent anything, and I was like, did I get disconnected or something? And then all of a sudden, just massive amounts of dudes come down the other way, and they wipe everything out.
Okay.
Before I was already attacking the king tower, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got this still made, Nope, he came out, and I was like, wait a minute, he didn't even play for the first minute or 2, and I already had a tower out. How does he still end up winning? It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like it. It seems like it's this thing just to get you to keep coming back, to open your treasure chest, and and you get these coins, but they want you to spend real. It's all geared to make you spend real money because, like, you earned a treasure chest, but you can't open it for 8 hours unless you spend real money. And I'm just like, screw you. Like, it's just this is, to me, this is worse than Candy Crush, man. The dig at your money is constant, and I'm just like, this isn't even fun. It's like, what the heck? So I don't get what you and Ryan see, but I think I'm gonna uninstall it because I don't know. I tried. I've been playing every day for a week, and you don't want to. And I was like, well, I want to give this an honest thing. I want to try, and it's like I go
So
over there. They don't play for
yeah,
half the match. All of a sudden, within less than 60 seconds, they can completely wipe me out. I'm like, screw this. I'm done. This is doesn't make any sense.
yeah. So there's actually. So what level are you, or what arena?
I
Just
don't.
to
I
give
don't.
me.
I don't know.
Okay, I
Um,
imagine you're a couple, maybe like 5 or 6 or something like that. But anyway, so depending on the cards that you have, you level up your cards by getting cards from your chests, or, well, let's just say from chests. So you level them up, and then you make decks. And
right.
certain cards work better with other cards because you can make some decks that really suck. And then there's other ones that are really, really good. And as you progress,
I'm
as you
I'm in Arena
learn,
1, the Goblin
okay,
Stadium.
okay, so you're right in the beginning there. So you have the basic cards. You probably have goblins, you have giant, you have what, baby dragon,
Yep.
all those.
I got a
So
knight. I just got a lightning bottle of or something. Lightning in a bottle.
okay, yeah.
But I like the fireball, the arrows. The
Hmm.
knight's pretty tough, but it's just like they're using the same things against me. And
So
I'm ranking the cards up and all that, but it's just
right.
like, wow.
So there is a lot of strategy in it, surprisingly, depending on how you fight them off, how you build up pushes or combos, and how you react. Because, you know, if you goof on something, somebody will just steamroll you, depending on the cards that they have.
Right.
Like I was watching, like you shared one game in the clan, and I was watching like some of the stuff that you were doing, and you know, they're like you don't necessarily want to play like right up at the river, right up at the bridge. You want to play back so that you can get a couple of troops going up. Like I know I saw you like the baby dragon, which is a very powerful card for ground troops,
Right.
like the soft targets.
Right.
Let's just call them that. And I saw that you were like arrowing buildings, which really doesn't do much. It's kind of waste of arrows. And when you fireball, you should fireball two or three things if you can. Don't just fireball into one thing. And it's a whole bunch of stuff that you kind of learn as you play and you get better. And as you level up cards, it's really interesting some of the combinations that they have. Like there's this one card that I played for a long, long time called Sparky. I don't think you're high enough to see Sparky yet, but it's like a little tank looking thing that zaps it annihilates just about everything. People hate this thing. It was so much fun to play. But there's so many card combinations and there's so much strategy. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, did you ever see the wizard yet?
No,
The dude that shoots the fireballs?
I don't. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so he shoots fireballs kind of like the baby dragon, but he walks around, walks down on the
Right.
ground. He just annihilates anything. And there's like certain ways you have to deal with all of these cards. I mean, there's a lot of strategy. Like, for example, I'll talk about the wizard here. So, like, the wizard dude's coming at you. You put anything in front of him, he's just going to annihilate it. So, what you need to do is you need to let him walk across the bridge. Now, your little tower is shooting at him. When he locks onto your building and starts fireballing it, you can just drop a couple skeletons behind him and boom, he's gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
there's each little character has a very predictable way of acting. And the strategy in the game is what you play, where, and how you react to something. And there's some people that you get into like some of the later levels, they will just annihilate you. And
Yeah.
that's part of the fun of the game. It's like,
Getting
no,
your
I'm
butt
gonna
kicked.
kick their butt. No, it's when you turn around and you see these people and they're tough. And 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 they're tough, and then you just annihilate them. Like you get that like your tower's down to one, and then boom, you nail them. It's
Yeah.
like you were on the verge of death. It's they're very short little games. They're very quick. They're very action packed sometimes. And there are some games where you can't do anything depending on how, because you have 8 cards and the order. So there's four at a time,
Right.
and the order that you get, sometimes you can't do much of anything. Like if you get zap arrows, a fireball, and an elixir collector, it's like I can't do anything.
Right.
And there's strategy based on, do you go first? Do you wait? If you wait, you can react to them. Like if they send minions, you can arrow them and boom. And there's ways to get ahead on elixir, because the game is really about controlling elixir and not overspending. Because if you overspend, you can't react.
Right.
So there's,
And I'm just
it's,
like, boom. As soon as something's available, send it. That's just what I do.
yeah, yeah, you cannot do that, because that leaves you open where, it's like, I'm sure you've been in a situation, I mean, everybody has, where all of a sudden you're just getting all this stuff coming at you and you can't even send out a single card to retaliate.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
you can't arrow, you can't do anything because you have one elixir. And sometimes it's better to actually take damage than to fight it off. Like if there's like 3 skeletons coming at you, which are a relatively weak troop, I think they cost 1 elixir to cast. So if they send the 3 skeletons at you for 1 elixir and you spend a 3 elixir fireball to blow them up, you're now 2 behind. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yep.
So there's actually you're better off just, well, let me just take the 50 points of damage on my tower because the towers are gonna shoot them,
Right.
and I'll save my elixir, and then so like one thing that I love doing is they'll put down like 1 or 2 troops on one side, like a giant and then something else. They just blew all their money, basically, all their elixir on that thing. So I send my prince. I've got this little floating skeleton barrel, and this dart goblin dude. And I send him over on the other side.
Eh,
Before the giant even gets to me, there are other towers gone. It's because people overspend, and you know the combos that you use need to be smart. So basically, there's a lot of strategy to it, even though it may not seem like it. And later on, when you get more cards, it opens up even more, because right now you're getting the introductory cards, which are really bringing you like into the game a little bit and getting you familiar with it. Familiar with the reactions and such, and how to play, where to play, managing your elixir, and then you get like really cool cards later on. So that's my spiel. And I don't know, if I think if you stick with it a little while, you'll see.
I'll see. Okay.
You'll see
I ain't
what
putting
it's
no
all
money into
about.
this game though.
No, you do not need to. You absolutely do not need to at all. Because there's, when you're playing a game just for random 2-3 minute battles that are fun. I mean, who cares? Who cares if you know level up your cards super fast or not?
Right.
The one thing you should do is request cards in the clan. Do you ever do that?
I gave you a
I don't.
card, I think.
Yeah, so you go in and you request cards. People will give you cards. So whatever you request, you get to like request one thing like every 8 hours, I think. So whatever you want to level up, pick, find your favorite cards, whatever they are. Let's say if you find a deck that you really, really like, or look online for good combination decks based on the cards that you have, and
Okay.
stick with that, learn that deck, and level that deck up, and only that deck. Do you know what I'm saying? So in the clan, ask for cards for that deck, and only spend your coins to upgrade those cards. Because then that way you move up faster and you kind of get more stuff. as
Okay.
opposed to just leveling up everything and then you have like lots of cards that are like average as opposed to one deck that kicks butt. So there's
Alrighty.
our
I'll
15-minute discussion on Clash Royale, which
which we won't do every
is an
week.
awesome game. No, no,
Oh goodness.
no, but
I
yeah,
did try it. I just
there's
wanted you to know I did try it.
no, no,
I gotta,
I saw it.
and it's neat. It's just I was like, and I knew I figured, like I said, I wasn't really, you know, harassing you or anything. It was
No,
my only biggest thing was like, man, this thing just wants your money, and I get it.
they all
It's
do. Yeah,
just Gems of War is not as bad about it. It does pop up on occasion, but
sure.
I could play and do so much in that game without having to pay. And this one, I feel like can't really do much. It's more of a slow grind if you don't want to pay for anything. But
Yeah, just do your treasure chests. Get your play for your crown chest.
yeah,
Where you where you win 10 towers
yeah,
in a day. Yeah, just get that request and give cards also because you get money for that. You get coins or experience for that. And you move up. You move up. You don't have to see the thing is like even these people that pay to play,
right,
they just get hosed. They just get annihilated because if you're a level 1 ability wise player and you pay to bump yourself up to let's say like level 8, you don't have the experience of the level 8 people. You know what I'm saying? It's like any
right,
of these games.
right. You got
And
to
you're
know how
just
to
going to
play.
get yeah, you're just going to get annihilated. And so, you know, even though it kind of stinks to have like the slow progression, it's actually good because you get the experience and you learn the cards and later on when you get cards it actually gets kind of fun to like manage the deck and you're like, well, like there's this rage card that actually makes all the dudes go faster for a brief time or makes them like go berserk. And you're like, well, instead of the rage card, how about if I do a lumberjack, which is this really fast moving character, and when he dies, he rages the entire area. So, you can experiment and see what works and, plus what works for you too. But,
Right.
there's sometimes where you just get an opponent that's really good, or like the deck that I have right now, it's not really good for flying creatures. So if I'm going against a deck that's got a lot of flying stuff, I'm hosed.
Yeah.
It's and the thing is, you don't necessarily need to win. If you can stall it and get a draw, that's just as good sometimes. You just don't want to lose.
Right.
Anyway, that's enough Clash Royale talk. But
But that's all I played.
okay, yeah, I played Fortnite Battle Royale, not Clash Royale. Well, I played Clash Royale also. I did try Onrush. The beta for that opened up. I think it was last week,
Uh huh.
sometime. So this is the game that we talked about briefly about a week ago, where I said it was kind of like Blur. It's a blast from the past, a really fun driving game from the 360 days, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. I did enjoy the, the driving craziness that is Onrush. And like I was saying, it's more like Blur, more like an arcadey, gamey racer, where, cars are blowing up, you're making jumps, and it's just silly. It's not like Forza or any of those serious racers. So I think this is on beta now for a little bit, and it's releasing in June sometime. So it's going to release in the next couple of weeks, and I think I'm going to pick this one up. It's I think purchase worthy. And then I did play some State of Decay 2, and I also played State of Decay 1, the original and I did lose interest in it, just like Mark said. State of Decay 2, uh, I don't know about this game. I mean,
Hmm.
it's it's not one of those games that so far really like drew me in. You know what I mean? It's not like instantly hooked. I'm still kind of tinkering with it a little bit. I did notice some like weird glitches, like you said.
Yeah.
People were saying, like when we went into the first house that you were going to claim as your base camp
Right.
or whatever. You know how you have to clean these buildings out, right?
Yeah.
You got to go through and check all the different areas and stuff. So I walked in and I went upstairs, and then there was this like military dude with me. And so I went upstairs and I'm like looking around, and then I look down the stairs and there's a military dude just standing on the landing with three zombies all around him. He's just like just standing there.
What's
The
up?
zombies aren't doing anything. He's not doing anything. I'm like, really? It's. I mean that I know when we're walking around, those things are all over me like freaking glue.
Yep.
And these NPC non-player characters, it's like they don't freaking exist.
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean, you know what I'm
Sometimes,
saying?
sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah, they do
yeah,
fight back, but yeah, there's a lot of weird little stuff like that, which I have seen. Um,
yeah,
but it's still an interesting game.
yeah. It
It's
is.
definitely not perfectly polished. It needs work.
Yeah,
And I think it'll happen. It'll get there, but yeah, it does need some some work.
yeah. But the and so like right in the all the way in the beginning, I'm assuming that like if you choose different characters, the thing's kind of the same.
Yeah, I'm
But in the
sure.
beginning, I chose, what was it, like old buddies or something like that?
Uh huh.
I think is who I went with. That was my group of guys. So we were going through this like abandoned shelter. I forgot what it was called. But it was like this military thing
Oh, right. Yeah.
outpost that was abandoned, and you kind
Yeah.
of got to walk through it.
Right. That's the
And
very
it's
opening. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's the same for everybody, regardless of characters. So
Yes.
so there's crap everywhere. There's tents, there's boxes, there's filing cabinets, and then like every like 50 yards, it's like, oh, you can search this cabinet. I'm like, what about all that other,
Yeah.
other stuff?
Yeah.
I'm like looking, I'm like, can I search any of this? Can I search any of this? Because it shows that little
Icon.
icon
Yeah.
on stuff that you can search.
And it glows. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, what about the rest of it? Why can't I search that thing next to it? Looks like it might have stuff in it. And then you search it, and then it's like, oh, there's a bolt inside. Really? It's I'm not a fan of crafting games, so I don't know how I'm gonna like all this crafting stuff, because that crafting stuff just fills up your bag like silly.
Yeah, there's like luxury items and they're in my storage and I think I'm supposed to carry them to trade with people, but I don't know. There's a lot to this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Without
there
a doubt.
is. It's like I can't even upgrade my base until I find someone that knows something about computers. So I found a guy, but I can't. He's like in a different group, and I've enlisted him to follow me, but I can't get him into my community. And I'm like, I have this book on computers, but no one can read it. Like, I think I need someone that has that computer skill to read it, but then I can't. And I got the guy, but he's not in my community. So I'm like, okay, how do I get this guy in my community?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like, so you feel like at times where you just can't get ahead. Everybody's complaining. They're going to leave. People die. And it's just like I've lost my 2 people I started with. They're both dead. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It frustrates me because I didn't, one of them I'm like, okay, this is the one I'm going to stick with to build up, and then they were
Did they get
tagging
bit by the zombie, get the blood poisoning,
the plague.
blood plague.
They just we got swarmed, and it was like I was running with a different character, but that person was my sidekick, if you will, at the time, and they got overwhelmed and killed. So.
Okay.
So, Hawk says, what I do is look for people that don't have a 5th skill and then have them read the books for the stuff I need.
Okay.
If someone has a 5th skill, they cannot learn a different one. Awesome. Thank you, Hawk. I will try to see if I can find someone that skillless needs that. So, but there's so many things, and it's like it is enjoyable, but at the same time, like it does have a lot of issues and can be quite frustrating. But I think it is still kind of a fun game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still interesting. There's something to it still, as opposed to just games that just suck.
Right. And it is scary to go out. It's like, oh man, you do feel that like, and there's been times it's like, I'm like, no, roll, get out of there, get out. You like start freaking out because you're like, I don't want to die. You don't want your character to die. You need this character. So, it has that, tensity, and it does have that. So for all the glitches and things that are there, there's a lot that is very good about it. It brings something new to the table. There's not another zombie game out there that I'm aware of that's like this. And that just like will stress you out, make you maybe go do something else you didn't want to do. And there is 3 different starting areas. I went to, there was the plateau, there's the valley, and then there's another in the foothills. I went to the foothills.
Yeah, so did I.
I kind of wish I hadn't, because I joined someone else that was in the plateau, and I don't know, there was something about it. I was like, well, I think this might have been better than it just, I don't know. It seemed like there was more stuff closer by than like the foothills. Stuff seems to be stretched out, even though it's not necessarily that far away. But when you have to walk a little bit and you get you have that threat of the zombies being around you, it gets a little stressful. So, but I did play a little bit in the plateau, and it's like completely different looking environment, except the house, his base house that he was in was identical to mine. It was, I mean, the house itself, the house, like the boundary around the house was different, but the house itself was identical. You had to go up to the 2nd floor for your stash through the patio door. And every room and everything was identical. I was like, well, that's kind of lame, that they're just using the same assets over and over. But, I guess I could expect that. But everything else outside of it looked, unique. But yeah, a lot of the houses you go into, it's the same house, just located somewhere else. So, but Hawk is he's typing away here to me. He says, he's on his 6th playthrough, and he's gonna get he's gonna get the 1000 gamer score. He's got 76 hours so far. He says you can trade stuff between friends. If I have something you need and I have it, I can go to your game and drop it to you. I'm more than willing to join your game to help out. The Valley is my favorite region. So cool. So
yeah, there's some interesting stats on the game. So after 2 days, they already had 1 million players of this game. I really wonder how much of this was really Game Pass.
I'm Game Pass. I bet you a lot of it's Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, and we'll never get those numbers.
Yeah. So according to Aaron Greenberg, since launch, there have been over 6 million combined hours of gameplay. So this was 2 days ago.
Hey,
So
Gavin, thanks.
it's even bigger actually now. So gamers have watched 3.5 million hours of gameplay across Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube from over 41,000 broadcasts. And then with in-game statistics, he says that survivors have killed over 675 million zombies, threw over 6 million firecrackers and fireworks, read over 2 million textbooks, and typically survive for 3 days.
Hey, real quick, thanks to Gavin for subscribing to us on YouTube. Appreciate that.
So that was it.
Yeah, it's cool. I think there's gonna be a whole bunch of neat stats here. Give it a week or two, but yeah, good game, fun game, frustrating game.
So, so what does this mean? So they typically survive for about 3 days. Does that mean that your camp goes for 3 days or your people only last 3 days?
I don't know. Mine didn't last. But my first two guys didn't last very long, and I thought I was doing pretty good at keeping people alive. And then all of a sudden, boom,
Boom,
two
boom,
were gone
boom.
like that, and it was just like, oh, nothing I could do to stop it. So
So did you have the same attachments to these guys as you did in XCOM with your characters?
no, I had no attachments in XCOM. So
Really? Maybe it wasn't you then. Remember
no,
somebody was saying how they like their dudes that they leveled up like really far, there was like you really didn't want to lose them. Tough. No.
Uh, well, I don't want to lose them because you level them up and they give you more skills. And the
Yeah.
frustrating part is when you do lose them in XCOM, then it's like you're starting back with rookies, and now you're fighting harder guys later in the game, and you've got rookies. So it really makes the game about impossible. Um, this one's not quite like that with State of Decay 2, but you still lose people that have skills or that have, leveled things up and can, and built their cardio up and stuff. I mean, there's so you still lose a lot of that because then you're starting out with newer people, and you got to find them too. That's the other thing. You got to find people. You don't just get a replacement.
Right.
So it is tough, and you don't want to lose them. And that's why it's like you got that fear factor every time you go out, or they're like, oh, this person's sick and they're gonna die, and you're like, oh, I got to get meds and I got to get this and I got to go. Where can I find it? And I'm looking at the map and I'm like trying to figure out, okay, I got this. I grabbed this outpost that gives meds, but it's like one med pack every day or something. I'm like, well, what freaking good is that? I need 1,800 med packs. Where am I gonna find them? It's so it's stressful in that way. It's not a stress-free game for sure.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay.
but okay. All right. So I was just
I
replying
think
back to some people in YouTube who were asking some questions. So we gonna move. Do you got anything else that you played, Rob?
no, no, I think we should get on with the show.
Let's move it on. So
Yeah, yeah.
we can, if you'd like to be a patron of the show, you can go to thisxboxlife.com/Patreon. This is where you can support us each and every month with a donation that recurs every month. It's whatever you wish to set up, and we do appreciate that. If you'd like to do a one-time donation, you can go to thisxboxlife.com/donate. And again, donate whatever you wish to the show. Again, that helps keep the lights on, helps us with giveaways. Which, Rob, we're gonna have to have a discussion because we need to do some giveaways here.
Okay.
We got some money in the kitty available to start giving away some games. So maybe after E3, we'll see if anything drops. Maybe we can start giving away some Xbox gift cards or games, donate games or whatnot. So look for that here soon. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. So we appreciate that. Alrighty, so let's get into our topics. first thing I wanted to talk about a couple different items around Battlefield 5. Did you get a chance to see the reveal of this? It was on sometime last week. I want to say it was I want to say it was Thursday, but did you get a chance to see
I
that?
remember watching a video. I was like sneaking something in the while I was working. I was looking at some video and I remember it looking cool, but now I really can't remember if that was it.
Okay. The so anyway, so here's some of the things. It's going to release on October 19th of this year. It's going to be on PC and Xbox and PlayStation. Um, it is what else do they got here? The biggest thing I thought was, now I've heard people say that the reveal didn't show gameplay, but I thought that it did, because when they first showed it, it was like a cutscene, and then at one point, like, they picked the person up, and then all of a sudden your map and your reticle and all that came into play. So I was kind of like, whoa, the cutscene just bled straight into gameplay, and it didn't change. It looked just as good as the cutscene. So the way I interpreted that, but I've heard others say, well, there was no gameplay shown. I thought that was gameplay. It looked like it to me, because they were running around and doing stuff, had their reticle on, but it was intense. It was just my thought was just, wow, pure chaos. Like, I had no clue what was even going on, and it was probably the way being on the battlefield for real was probably kind of a lot like that, very chaotic. Some of the cool things that they mentioned was that there's not going to be a premium pass this time around, so you're going to be able to save yourself an extra $50, and all the post-release content is going to be available for players for free. So that's really cool. This will allow everybody that buys the game to always have all the maps available, all the game modes available. Again, it won't be segmenting the community. Everybody will be able to play everything. Everybody will have all the content. So I like this a lot better. I'm sure there's going to be other ways for them to monetize. They're doing, and I would imagine it's going to be with customization of your character, because they talked about a lot of customization on your character and stuff like that. I would imagine that's where they'll make up a lot of the money. And I think they're going to do very well there if they go that route. This is World War II is the setting. The maps, they didn't get a chance to see or learn anything specific about the maps, but Battlefield 5 will be EA Play next month for E3 2018, where people will get a chance to go hands-on with one of the new game modes, which they called, forgot what it was called, Grand Operations. That's going to be a new mode along with co-op. So Operation mode makes a return in Battlefield 5 as the even bigger Grand Operations, which will feature an extra round for tight games called Last Stand during Last Stand rounds. So it's kind of like a sudden death, but it was interesting because they were saying, like, you would come in and you'd have like day one and you'd fight it out, and then you'd move on to day two and duke it out, day three, whatever. And then if you got, I think it was day four, I think there was 4 days, and then if it was basically tied at that point, then you'd go into basically like a last stand day 5 type of thing. And I can't remember what they were saying, but like there was no, I think it was no tickets, and it was basically, when you die, you're dead, and hopefully your team's got the last guy standing type of thing. Sounds kind of interesting, but you might not see that often depending on how well you're playing. The didn't mention anything. I don't recall them saying anything about Battle Royale, but it has been rumored that Battle Royale will be in this game. So we'll probably find out more at E3 on that.
Yeah. So. Which is coming up pretty soon. What, 2 weeks now?
About
2 weeks
3
left,
weeks.
I think
it's about 3 weeks. I think it was the 13th or so of June, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the Microsoft thing on Sunday, though.
I think that's the 17th. Yeah, 17th of June. Then,
Hmm.
so we've still got 3 weeks. But it's almost here.
Yes.
So, but let's see. I think I had one other thing on Battlefield, or did I not? Oh no, I mentioned they ditched the season pass. But the game looks really good. There's
Yeah.
been a lot of negativity about it, and I'm going to. I could talk a little bit about that, so it'll set up for something later. There's been some complaints because there's females. You can play as a female character, and of course, oh, there was no women in World War II, no combat women. And then one of the scenes that she has like a prosthetic hook, um, in the game, and she's still shooting a gun with it or something, and it's just so people were complaining about that, that it's not real or it's not authentic, and it's just over the top stupid stuff, you know. So that type of stuff, you're going to be able to customize your character. If you want a hook hand, you can have one, or prosthetic limb. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But I'm not a huge Battlefield fan. Like I said, used to be, but I was blown away by how good this game looked. I was just like, wow. I mean, in Battlefield, even Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, they've all looked great. You know, so it's not that I'm like super surprised at it, but it did just, it was intense. The reveal was really done very well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was nonstop because I just rewatched it here while you were talking, and it was just nonstop. Storming a building, jumping out of the building, almost getting crushed by tanks, stuff falling out of the sky. Just,
yeah,
it
cars
was
falling
nutty.
off
Yeah,
bridges and crushing
cars,
dudes.
planes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
It was intense.
yeah.
So very well done reveal, and I do look forward to seeing what else they have at E3, because I do think there's a lot more they're going to show us at E3. Pretty much, I would say
Oh,
they're going to show us everything, because the game releases in October, and they're going to go up against Call of Duty and Red Dead 2. So there's some 3 big titles coming out in October, and I guess we'll see. I don't think there's really any worries that they're all going to get their people's money. So start saving up now. October's going to be an expensive month.
yeah, I just double checked. Yeah, it's June 10th. That's when the
June 10th?
yeah, that's when the Microsoft show is. So we've got to do
Well,
our pre-show next week.
right. We're going to do that next week for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
2
Well,
weeks.
that's a week closer than I thought it was. Awesome. Yeah.
So 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern in the US. Adjust your time accordingly.
Yep. All right. Next item up for discussion is it looks like, according to reports from Gaming Intel and Charlie Intel, who have a history of being very reliable, their sources are claiming that the next Call of Duty after this year's Black Ops 4 will be Modern Warfare 4, which will come out in 2019 and will be developed by Infinity Ward. This supposedly that this will have a traditional campaign, single player campaign, unlike Black Ops 4, as well as the traditional multiplayer offering and zombies. So if you wanted to get back into Modern Warfare Modern Warfare, that version of Call of Duty, it looks like you can do that in 2019. So we'll see. I liked the Modern Warfare series. I really did.
Good stuff.
So I will be interested to see how that plays out. Next, Xbox Game Pass. So June 1st is when? A few more days. Pull up my calendar.
It's Friday.
Friday. So this Friday, we'll have 6 more games going into the Game Pass. Those games will be MotoGP. Okay, stop doing this. MotoGP 17. So this will be, you can ride on the official tracks with all the riders and bikes from the 2017 MotoGP Championship and the 2017 Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup. Discover more than 70 legendary riders from 4-stroke, 2-stroke, 500cc, 2-stroke, 250cc, and 2-stroke 125cc's. Choose your path to become. Those are bikes. Those are sizes of the engines. Choose your path to become a champion with 2 different career modes: rider and team manager. Then there's the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. There's a game called the Technomancer. Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Disneyland Adventures, which is an Xbox Play Anywhere title. And Next Up Hero. This game is inspired by classics like Zelda, Four Swords, and Smash TV. This is a crazy, fast, co-op dungeon crawler with unique heroes, epic loot, and tough-as-nails monsters that will kill you a lot. And it's I remember seeing this, and it's like you'll die, and then it's that's what it's called, Next Up Hero. Who's up next, right? So you get another hero, but then like you can incorporate, somehow you can bring back like the ghosts of all your dead heroes, and you can they help you fight. So it might be a fun little game. So I will definitely check it out.
I think it's a new game going straight into.
It is.
Yeah.
So that one probably won't be June 1st. I don't have a release date on that one specifically, but that one, if it's not there on June 1st, just know that's because that is a brand new game going. So it will be there on the release day of itself. So we'll see. I don't think they stated that. Yeah, they do state that that next up hero in June, the same days it's available digitally from on the store. They don't give a date, so that one probably won't be the first, but the rest should be. And Mixer has been around for 1 year, so Microsoft has been celebrating the Mixer anniversary. So they've got. I got to stop using this site.
So is it 1 year ago that they bought Beam, or
no?
Since they renamed it.
1 year since they renamed it to Mixer.
Okay.
So I mean, it's been around longer than that, but Mixer itself is a year old. So they've done some new stuff. So they've got Mix Play. So this has expanded the developer tool set. Helps Mixer streamers to create deeper interactive experiences on their channels. Developers can now create Mix Play experiences on top of streams, in panels on the side of video, as widgets around video, or as free-floating overlays, all while completely matching the look and feel of their games or streamed content. It's all built on standard web technologies like HTML and JavaScript. There's also a refreshed Mixer experience. So the Mixer web and PC experiences are being refreshed with a new look and feel to include the Mix Play functionality. They've created a new hype zone for Rainbow Six Siege. If you're not familiar with hype zone, they've got one for PUBG and for Fortnite. And what it does is it goes out. Basically, you're able to watch matches kind of near the end of the match, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. If you just kind of want to see some real intense gameplay, or people fighting for that chicken dinner, or for that victory royale, or just who's winning in Siege, you don't have to watch the whole thing. They'll jump around to kind of the highlight moments near the end of the game. Direct purchases now has been announced, so this will let viewers purchase games and game content directly from the streaming experience. And I did see that one of the guys I watch. There was a box up top that said, buy State of Decay 2. And he was playing the game, so you can click on it and buy it right through the Mixer option. And then they got a bunch of updates that are coming to Mixer Create. So if you are a streamer or want to stream, don't forget you can stream to Mixer right from your Xbox. You don't even need anything special. You can just do it right from there. So cool. I'm glad to see that. I really like Mixer
Yeah.
a lot. I think it's a really good um, platform, and I think I'm glad Microsoft is keeping into it. All right. Okay, Rob, I'm gonna ask you: have you booted up your box that's in the alpha beta yet lately?
Yeah.
And have you seen the grouping yet?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't do anything with it.
You don't.
I didn't do my insider thing.
Oh, I'm gonna report you.
You
So,
know, just to go off on a tiny tangent here, because I think last week I mentioned that I just get so hung up, or at least I used to, of I would boot up my Xbox, I'd start applying all these updates, I'd do my insider thing, and then I lose interest in playing games. It like sucks the gaming out of me.
no games for you
So
today.
no, so what I did like today, I booted it up. I did check to see if there's a system update waiting. I couldn't resist. But then I just went straight in and I started playing games. I'm like, I know I've got a couple things to do for Insider, but going through those, I mean, that'll tie up 5-10 minutes to do each one of those things sometimes, and I'd rather do gaming.
Right.
So no, I saw the grouping thing. I saw the Insider thing for it, and I saw it in the menu.
So,
No,
if I'm understanding this, it's a lot like your our mobile phones where we can put apps or games into groups. So,
like
for
folders.
like folders and stuff. So I could say like could create like a shooter group and put Halo, Gears of War, um, Far Cry 5 in there, and then I can go into that group and have those games appear there. Correct?
Yeah,
Is that
because like right now we get pins, which kind of suck when you have lots of games, because it's to me, pins are like throwing games in a junk drawer. You know what I mean? You
I'll
got them
be
all,
yeah.
you got them all there, but now you got to go through your junk drawer every time you need something. So here, like where I saw it is like when you hit the Xbox button, and you know how it pops up that thing where you can go home and it's
Right.
got the little thing on the top. Well, if you go to your apps, games and apps, it'll actually let you create groups there, and then you can also do show all, which is the traditional view.
Okay, so you don't know if we can, but if I put like a bunch of so even like okay, so I pin like HBO, YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I've got and Plex. So I've got like five and Microsoft movies. So I've got like six video sources of where I might watch some video content pinned to my thing. Could I group
Okay.
all of them into just like media or just say movies or something, right? Put it in a group called movie and then pin that group to my pins.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it.
Okay, so then I can still go to pins and instead of having all those things take up a whole entire row, just click into the one and then click the one I want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping, and that's my understanding, and that you can group games and apps. So this is okay, and I wanted to check with you. So they said that this has been delivered in the alpha program, which is what you're in. So I'm a beta participant, so we should be getting that
Mhm.
later on. Um, but so what it says here for games and apps groups, the My Games and Apps screen provides a grid of your installed and available games and apps. And as our collections have grown, it's become a bit unwieldy. So Microsoft is providing a way to group them into groups. Groups will
Right.
appear in My Games and Apps and in Home and the Guide too. And because they are tied to your count, they will sync across consoles. So it doesn't say anything about pins, but I'm hoping that that's what they're meaning by being in the home or in the guide. That you can pin a group. So I give you some homework, Rob. Report back to me next
Okay.
week if I can do this.
Sure.
There's improved search. There's going to be multiple Wi-Fi password support, accessibility improvements, and family setting improvements as well in that update. But um, so look forward to grouping, and Rob will report back to us next week. He's got homework, and yeah, we'll find out more on that. Do you? What do you think of that idea? Do you kind of taking a piece from the mobile platform? You like that idea or not?
No, they've got to do something because the way that it is right now, it really sucks. Because we've been around since day one of the Xbox One, and through the magic of games with gold, it's great. I like games with gold,
Yeah.
but because of games with gold, I have too many games.
Yeah, I
And
have like 350 that aren't even installed.
yeah, and when you go through those, it's like, okay, how can I sort them? Last update or A to Z? Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of games in there that we don't necessarily want to see,
Yep.
that, either we don't like or we're done with them, we moved on, but they always show up in everything.
They do.
So, yeah, so it's about time to, that they do something a little bit better than pins. Because again, pins just lumps them all together. It's like a junk pile,
Well, I keep
as
my pins to like when I'm done with a game or it's something I haven't played for a while, I unpin it. I
okay,
whatever
yeah.
I'm working
Well,
on
you
or
have
whatever I'm
to
playing
eventually.
actively, then I pin it. But if it's something that and like I'm not done with Homefront yet. I'm at the part where I can go to do the final mission. I'm trying to debate if I want to do any like side stuff before I go do that. But as soon as I complete that story, then boom, it's unpinned, and
Hmm.
and it'll probably get uninstalled too. But
Sure.
so all right,
Yeah, there's a little thing in Windows Central that shows how it works. So when you open up and, like let's say you're in the guide, that's their example here. You select My Games and Apps. You now get a new menu that looks sort of like the old pins menu. You select Create a New Group and you give it a name. And then you can choose any app or game that you have. So this might be a little cumbersome to begin with, but
especially if you got to
uh,
reclassify 400 or 500 games into a group.
yeah,
Hopefully, we can do it from the PC. maybe in the
yeah.
maybe
Oh,
in the
heck yeah.
Xbox app because
That
it
would be nice.
that would be nicer.
Oh, absolutely. So once you select them, you hit add, and it kind of shows you how many games you have added to it. At that point, when you go back to My Games and Apps, you will see pins, and then your group will be underneath it. Or you can hit See All, which is the traditional apps and games view.
Okay.
And then you can pin them to the dashboard. So, really, I guess I'd probably say this is really nothing new. It's just like giving you multiple pins. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
It's allowing you to, they have pins and then they have groups, which are just pins that you can now have multiple of and you can give them names as opposed to just pins.
Well, I think that'll be great for like my movie
Yeah.
stuff. So I can put my 6 into a group, pin that group, and then just go to yeah. I think that'll be and it'll take up less space. Yeah, it's an extra click for me,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. I can get some of that space back too because I like to have fewer things because then I got bigger icons on my screen, and when you start adding them, then it auto shrinks them down, and
Yeah.
then it's like, well, then I got a bunch and they're small. I just prefer them to be bigger. I wish it would. I could lock it in, and just if it drops down the screen, it's like, why can't they just keep going down the screen? And you know, but maybe that'll come in a future update, or maybe I need to go to user feedback and put that in. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna look forward to that. So
Yeah. So it'd be nice to, group your media stuff together to have, let's say, driving games together, and just have it be a little more sensical than just last updated or A to Z.
Yeah, I could create
Yeah.
like a junk folder or a crap folder and put like Homefront in there, uh, Shadow of
Wolfenstein.
Mordor, Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those garbage games.
All the
Just
games I like.
yeah. But what wouldn't go into that folder is Far Cry 5. And the first piece of DLC is coming out on June 5th. If you didn't buy the season pass or the whatever they called it, you can pay for this. It'll be $12 US, and it'll be called Hours of Darkness. It's the yeah, it's set in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and it'll have Vietnam themed assets, which are already available in the Far Cry arcade. They've Those assets are in the arcade now. Wendell Red Redler, a Vietnam War vet from a Far Cry 5 side mission, makes a return in the Hours of Darkness as the playable character. The DLC campaign follows Red on a mission to save his imprisoned squad mates in Vietnam. This will be playable in solo and online co op. Upon completion, players can unlock the more difficult Hours of Darkness Survivor mode or the over the top action movie mode. Still in store for Far Cry 5 post launch content is Lost on Mars and Dead Living Zombies, which launch over the next few months. So, June 5th, I'll be all over this. And Jonathan, you asked, so I will co op this with you, this DLC. So, Comrade, if you're listening, I will still do it with you as well. But Jonathan did ask, so I want to do it. And it probably will be really easy. I doubt this will be super duper long. I don't know how, they don't say how many hours, but I can't imagine this being more than 3 hours since it's a DLC. But hopefully it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Sea of Thieves. Real quick, if
Yeah.
anyone's playing this, another one that would go in my junk pile. Um, no, I like the game. I just don't like the grieving part of it. That you do all the work and then trying to turn your crap in and someone kills you and steals it. But Sea of Thieves' first major free content expansion is coming. It's called The Hungering Deep, and this is framed around a special time-limited campaign. The campaign will introduce players to an adventuring group known as the Bilge Rats, and more specifically Merrick, a bard who brushed with the unseen horror and lived to tell the tale. So players must untangle the groggy recollection of events, hunt the mysterious monster for special loot. The monster looks to be some kind of megalodon that lurks in the briny deep, as well as the time-limited campaign, which that stuff makes, I don't get that. A lot of seems like a lot of these games are doing this lately, like releasing content only for a short amount of time. Rainbow Six did that. They did this like not zombies. I think it was aliens mode. It was awesome, and it's gone. There was another game recently did something like that. I can't think of it, but it's like though I'm like, why are you building this content and then say it's only available for 3 weeks and it's gone? Again, this one too, time limited campaign for some reason. But you will receive a number of new features, including new tools like a speaking trumpet and a drum. While the drum will function similar to the other instruments, the speaking trumpet appears to amplify player voice to bark orders at your crew from afar. Players will also be able to wave a range of flags. The Jolly Roger lets you warn rivals of your motivations, while the white flag gives you an easy way to surrender after a hard fought battle. New cosmetic items, including a set of tattoos and scars and ship parts themed to the adventure, will be available for players who embark on the new adventure. This launches on May 29th, which will be Tuesday. So, The Hungering Deep,
Okay.
for those that are playing Sea of Thieves. Rob, I know this one is going to tickle your fancy.
This was a shocker to me.
Was it the fact that it was delayed, or the fact that it even existed was the shocker?
That it exists.
I
I thought it was dead.
I
Buried.
didn't. I'd never heard anything of the sequel, and now we're being told that Telltale's Wolf Among Us Season 2 has been delayed to 2019. Um, they're citing fundamental changes at the studio, which is causing the delay. Rob and I both played Wolf Among Us and really liked it. So
That came out in 2013, so almost 5 years ago.
yeah, the sad thing is that by the time it comes out, are we going to remember what happened the first round? So,
Yeah. I so man, I know both of us are kind of like thumbs down on Telltale stuff now,
yep.
but I really enjoyed The Wolf Among Us. I mean, it was kind of messed up, and I mean, it was more of an adult theme,
Yes.
not like Walking Dead isn't.
This
But
would be one to pull me back,
yeah,
I think. It was so unique,
yes,
That's the thing. But I guess
yeah, and even the storyline was kind of interesting, where it was like nursery rhyme characters or something like that
right.
live in New York, hiding amongst everybody,
Yeah.
and they take human form or something, and then the big bad wolf is a sheriff, more or less.
Well, this actually was revealed this last summer at Comic-Con and was originally scheduled, I'm sorry, last summer in 2017, and was originally scheduled to release in late 2018. I don't know how both of us missed this and like didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's because this is something we both really enjoy, or we're just getting so old that we did hear about it and we forgot.
It was probably a little blurb, and we're like, oh, okay, Telltale.
Yeah. So,
And then went on to talk about real games.
but I would be interested to see some more on this.
Yeah.
But again, the length of time between seasons of coming up, it'll be what, 5 years?
Yep.
That's not a season anymore.
Yeah.
That's a half a decade. It's you really, yeah. Sorry, it's probably gonna be tough to bring me back when, like, I don't remember. I remember I played that game 5 years ago and like, did I have no idea what it was about or what where the story ended. So had they released season 2 the next year, oh yeah, would have been all over it. And I'm still intrigued because I remember liking it so much, but I'd almost feel like, man, I need to go play the first one again, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. The
Yeah.
last thing that I have is Dying Light 2 is rumored to be going to be revealed at E3 this year. So let's see if I can. Oh, stop. Let's see. So just this was the 24th. So just a couple of days ago, a Polish site shared information potentially indicating that Techland will officially unveil Dying Light 2 with a brand new trailer at some point during E3 2018. According to the article, the authors managed to determine by a few independent sources, as well as both current and ex-Techland employees, that the company is working on Dying Light 2 and is focused on preparing a high-quality trailer, which is going to be presented during the upcoming E3. In addition to the chance of Dying Light 2 seeing an E3 2018 reveal, it appears as if Techland could also be prepping the direct follow-up to have a battle royale mode as well. Imagine that. For the author of the aforementioned article asked if, due to release of standalone DLC Dying Light Bad Blood, there was a chance to expand on it in Dying Light 2. And the answer was it's highly probable. So, me, I want Dead Island 2. I really liked... I don't know. I might have to go back and play Dying Light. I've played Dying Light, and I remember not enjoying it as well, which is weird because it's still pretty much like Dead Island, but with like parkour, and then they did this thing at night where the zombies are like harder or faster or they're bigger. I don't remember what it was. There was something about the night that was not cool.
No, I hate that night stuff. It's awful.
But I remember not liking Dying Light, but I love Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide, which I've got here sitting here getting ready to play that hopefully soon with my Dead Island partner. And it's like I really wanted Dead Island 2 that was in the works, and then it got canceled, I guess. And it looks like they're gonna do Dying Light 2 instead. The Hawk, that says there was a Dead Island 2. That game was canceled, Hawk, to my understanding. So you'll have to let me know if it where it released. I know they were working on one, but it got canceled. So I want that game because I love Dead Island. But I don't know. Dying Light, just even though it was basically the same game, there was something different about it that I just didn't care for. So but I was thinking about it earlier today. I'm like, I might just have to play Dying Light again. So because they are still adding content to it. So
yep.
Said was not his. I don't know, Hawk. I don't know. He said there was not is. Okay. I know there was a Dead Island 2, but it got canceled. And they need to uncancel it and release it. But anyways, we'll see. That's all I've got, Rob. Did you have any?
Yeah, a couple things. First off, I know a lot of people are just gonna fall out of their chairs when they hear this. They're gonna be so heartbroken and stuff, but the Twitter app on Xbox is going bye-bye. I don't know if anybody even used it. Apparently, they don't, and they won't. So after May 24th, 2018, which is now, I think the 24th, that was like Thursday or something, the Twitter app is no longer functional or available. And the reason was it didn't meet the new standards of that GDPR.
Oh, good Lord.
Stuff that is inundating my
inbox with, yes,
like resubscribe stuff. Annoying.
I'm just deleting them all.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And I know everyone's getting this. I'm not resubscribing to anybody. I'm just deleting them all. Like, if I want to be subscribed to something, all of a sudden I notice I'm not getting something, then I'll go actively look for it, and resubscribe. Otherwise, maybe the good part is people stop emailing us.
Yeah, and I wish that when they do this stuff, they would just have a thing like click here to continue instead of asking 50 questions. It's like, I don't want to sit there for 5 minutes filling out your stuff to get the emails that I don't necessarily even want to get.
Right.
But anyway. Another thing is Battlefield 1943 is out on Back Compat. So you can prepare yourself for Battlefield 5. And this was kind of interesting. The Xbox 360 received an update recently.
An update?
Yeah. It was titled Minor Bug Fixes and Improvements. Who knows what that was, what they're fixing. But the last update that came out for the 360 came out in March 29th, 2016. So more than 2 years ago. So even though the console is no longer in production,
it's got to be a security thing.
Yeah, it got an update of some kind.
It has to be security related.
Yeah.
So, or
fix something,
or a Spectre update.
Yeah.
Now your console will run 20% slower. Congratulations.
Yay.
So,
but that's it.
Alrighty. All right. Time for everybody's favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Today on this Xbox Live. for some major strife. Yeah, Wingman's got 709 wins. Today is just the start. Get ready for this rant.
All right, so I mentioned earlier people crying, complaining about Battlefield 5 and how it's not being realistic. First of all, when has Battlefield ever been realistic? You know, Call of Duty back in the day was known for its trying to be realistic and authentic to the war fighting, genre. And this actually irritates me. And maybe it's because I'm ex-military, but I don't think it does. I think it's because um, I have a lot of respect for the military. I have a lot of respect for those that have died for our country. And if you really want you want to experience something and you want it to be realistic, then join the military. Go fight a real war. It is an insult to those who have served and to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice to say any game or movie is realistic. Reality is the fact that you can't respawn when you die. War is not a game, it's not fair, and it's not fun. All right, moving on. We do have our Amazon giveaway coming up, where you can earn £39 and 58 pence. And all you got to do to be pence.
Cents?
No, pence with a P.
Cents. like the vice president.
Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Send us your voicemails about what you are excited for most about E3 2018. Again, this is for people that can shop at Amazon.uk. We did get a voicemail in this week, and I'm going to play it this week. And Cat Flap 1970, you are in the running for this. So right now, if nobody else sends a voicemail, you will get this gift card next week. But you have 1 week to get in your voicemails. So, but here is the first one from Cat Flap.
Good morning, guys. Cat Flap 1970 here from the sunny UK, where we have pounds and pence. Well done, Wingman. Dying Light, heard you chaps mention last week about Dying Light. That's a good game, and they're still putting content out for it. It's amazing. I mean, that game's quite old now, and they're still pumping out good quality content. How long do you think they're going to be carrying on with that content for that game? I'm into Ghost Wildlands at the moment, which we're trying to complete. Again, that's a similar game, massive game. Lots of content always streaming and rolling out, which is awesome. Got to get both those games finished so I can roll on to Far Cry 5 and then Red Dead 2. I think I need a time machine or some time off of work to concentrate on my gaming. Anyway, good show, chaps, as always. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Cat Flap. That was awesome. I always enjoy hearing from you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if we could all get a time machine?
Yes.
Or just pause the world around us. I don't even need a time machine. I just need the ability to pause the rest of the world so that I can just play these. We can play our games.
I would just go to sleep.
There you go.
Pause the world, sleep 10 hours.
Unpause.
Unpause. Refreshed.
There you go. So he asked the question. I think it was very timely too. I think I would say if they're going to release or talk about Dying Light 2 at E3, I'd say that they're pretty much done. They're probably done doing new content for Dying Light. I guess it would depend on when Dying Light 2 is going to come out. But they're probably, I'd imagine, getting done with that. Dying Light's been around for quite a while, so. But yes, he's like you said, they're still releasing content, so we don't know, but we'll probably know more at E3. All right, so thanks for that voicemail. You can send a voicemail by going to thisisxboxlife.com, clicking on the send voicemail box on the right-hand side, and sending that our way. You can also email us, contact@thisxboxlife.com. You can follow us on Twitter, not on your Xbox anymore, but on your PC or your mobile device. And you can also join in the discussions on our Facebook group. Both of those you can reach by going to thisxboxlife.com/ either Twitter or Facebook. All right. Now it's your other favorite part of the show. Here we go.
Okay, Rob, what you got for us today? What you got for us to play? Give us a list of games that we can buy and play. Okay, Rob.
All right, retail releases for May 29th through June 1st. We have on May 29th, we have Bird Cakes, Moonlighter, Sega Genesis Classics, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, and Yoku's Island Express. On May 30th, we have Stay, Die for Valhalla, Fox and Forests, Knights of Pen and Paper +1 Deluxier Edition, The Journey Down Chapter 1, Zamb Redo, and then on the 31st we have Milanoir, I think that's how you say it. Earth Atlantis. Earth Atlantis is on June 1st. Also on June 1st we have Lick Spear, Double Spear Edition, Mining Rail, and Oh Sir, the Hollywood Roast. That's quite the collection. Actually, it's a fair amount of games. I don't think anything here is really...
16 games.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like what I'll call minor releases. Although, Sega Genesis Classics and Street Fighter 30th Anniversary,
Right.
That's good for the nostalgia cult following thing.
The rest is all indie stuff.
Yeah.
Which, the Xbox doesn't have.
Yeah.
There's only 14 of them this week, but,
Mm-hmm.
the Xbox doesn't do indies. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I know Knights of Pen and Paper, that was pretty popular on mobile platforms. It's an RPG style game. I never really...
Well, this is the Deluxier edition.
Yes.
So
the +1 Deluxier.
Yeah, it must be better.
Edition, yeah.
Mo Betta.
So it's got cheese on it. Like the Arch Deluxe. Yeah. So that's that. Okay, right. And then Games with Gold. We're going to have a little switcheroo this month. Or in this week, not this month. For a couple more days, you have Super Mega Baseball through the 31st, which is what, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. And continuing through the month is Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. So that's going to stick around till mid-June. Xbox 360, we have Vanquish through the 31st. Did they announce what was coming for June yet?
Not yet. They'll probably do it here within the hour.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Right about the time we stop, the news will hit.
Yeah.
Like, you jerks. I'm even double checking right now. I refreshed both Major Nelson and news.xbox.com just to see, but nope. It'll probably be posted tomorrow.
Or anything that's out is this, the scam stuff.
Whoops. Hey,
wait,
look,
here's one.
We're starting over. Look at that.
Starting over what?
Nah, the scene just flipped back to our 5-minute countdown.
Oh.
So there's some predictions on what's coming.
So there's this one site that I go to every once in a while. It's really irritating because they'll post like Games with Gold, June 2018. And then you go to the article and it explains what Games with Gold is. And then when they announce it, you'll see it right here. It's like, oh. Clickbait.
Yep.
Hate them.
Yep. There's a bunch of like predictions and what they plan to list.
Anyway, so yeah, that's that. We'll find out next week what we already have
Yeah.
going on. So, and then as usual, if you use Amazon, make sure to use our affiliate link. You can find that on our Facebook group at the top, or go to our webpage, thisxboxlife.com. Use that link each and every time you make your purchase on Amazon. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it's a great way to support the show. Another way to support the show is to find us on the iTunes store if you use that. If you don't, install it anyway and find us on there, and give us a 5-star rating. The more of those that we get, the more we get bumped up in the rankings over there. And as usual, we're always on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. And thanks to Learned Your Lesson for the music that we use in the show. And I believe that's all.
That is it. All right. Well, thank you again. Happy holiday to those in the U.S. Tomorrow, celebrating Memorial Day. Again, and thank you to all those that have served, who are serving, those who have died to serve this country. Thank you to the spouses that and the families that sacrifice as well, being away from their loved ones. This is why we have the freedoms that we do, because of the sacrifice they made. Hope everyone has a safe and an enjoyable holiday weekend. And I am Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.
And I'm Rob, also known as Presar, and I'd like to say thanks, Mark, for serving. And catch y'all next week.